What's up, everybody? Brett here today. Super stoked with a horrible cracked voice, but still going to make this video anyway. Happy because, once again, we've gotten more information on Total War Warhammer 3. Enter the World of Kislev is the title of this video, put out by Total War. Everyone else had early access. We were able to make some pretty sweet videos. I'm just going to run you guys through the video. We're going to look at the Steam page and the FAQ that's out. And I'm just going to give you my general thoughts and opinions. Hope you're just cool with hanging out with me. Some of this stuff I've seen before. I've seen this video once. I think I watched Indie Pride's video on it. Pretty interesting. I was super busy this morning. I didn't even know this got dropped. I was doing a bunch of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and getting my butt kicked, which was super fun. But yeah, I'm all tired and stuff. And then I get home and I see Kislev news, and I was just like, Kislev! I felt strong again. But all right, guys, we're gonna watch the video. I'm just gonna let it play. I'm not really gonna. Well, I might talk a little bit, but I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm gonna let it play, and yeah, when we're done, I'll read the FAQ. We'll look at the pictures that have been uploaded to the Steam page, and we'll just kind of talk. All right. There's a little bit of controversy going on. I'll give you guys my opinion on it if you're interested. I'll do that probably near the end of the video. So okay, without any further ado, let's go ahead and play this.
The bulwark of the North. Behold the unyielding motherland. Through the teachings of the great orthodoxy, this world's end is kept at the bay. Our mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, stand united against the onslaught of chaos. With the strength of Urson, the mighty bear god, and the power of winter itself. Tear them down!
Glorious. Streltsy and bear calf, guys. That's what I'm all about. Hell yeah, and war wagons. I love war wagons. Alright, and I think that's it. I think I left a comment on this video being like, I really wish that at the very end, like a rat would have skittered by or something. That way we could all speculate endlessly for the next year about whether or not Thankful will be in the first DLC. But that's it. And if you want to see what my YouTube algorithm's feeding me, you guys are welcome. A little bit of Theo Von, a little bit of Jiu-Jitsu. Okay.
Humanity thinks of nature.
Nope. No music, no copyright. Okay. So here is the FAQ. I wanted to go over that with you guys as well. We also have, let's go right into the Steam page screenshots. I think that's a little more fitting considering we just watched the video. But this thing looks sick. It sort of looks like a frost lynx mixed with like a saber-toothed tiger. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So there's a lot going on in this picture. I really need to break it down. But just in the foreground, we've got this new unit. I don't know what it is. It's definitely a standalone entity, which was a question that I had in the previous video. Because it does seem a little bit small. I mean, even when I think of standalone entities, I think of like Vargulfs and such. And those guys, when you zoom out, they look kind of smallish, maybe compared to something like a Necrofex Colossi or something. But they're huge. They're still many times bigger than even a cavalryman. But this thing is not that big. But it appeared that there were sync kill animations with the bear calf. Hopefully that's a thing. People always love the sync kills. I do too. I think they add a lot of flavor. We see the bear calf off to the right. Looks like the halberd version. They're also brown. They're brown bears. Which I'm guessing the polar bears with the guys having like the winged hussars wings on their back, the eagle feathers. Those are probably going to be the higher tier variant. Maybe like a tier 5 type unit. While the brown bears might be more like the Demigryph Knights with lance. That's what a lot of people are comparing them to. I think that's an apt comparison for sure. I'm also seeing the Ice Guard in the back, shooting off the top of that cliff. They look sweet. An all-woman regiment. People were kind of talking too a little bit excitedly about some of the cav, the light cav that Kislev has, and it's not anywhere in here, I don't believe. I've just seen the screenshots, the screen grabs. But there are mixed gendered units, so male and female fighting alongside each other, and some of the light cav perhaps like the skirmish groups, which kind of makes sense. I just remember a long time ago CA saying something about it was difficult to make that work. Something with the skeletons, it being expensive. It was kind of a whole deal. It was around the time when the Wood Elves dropped. And it was a bit of like a controversy because in Wood Elf culture, I guess the males and females kind of fight side by side because why wouldn't you? They're elves. Just very Lord of the Rings-esque. But here we also have, of course, we have the Tsarina herself. But then what looks to be the Lord variant. So like the Ice Witch Lord variant, of course, probably Lore of Ice. And then we've got the Winged Hussars in the back. I think Griffin Legion is what they're called when they're the more elite guys. And then we can barely make out some sword and board type guys behind them. So next screenshot, this guy featured pretty prominently in this video that we watched. So I've heard some speculation, but the best theory that I like is due to his flaming weapon. Him being a priest of sorts, a hero type character, maybe a lord type character, a generic lord around the god Daz, I think is how you pronounce it, Dahz, I think. I could be messing that up in some way. But something like that. But he's kind of a Kislevite god of fire and like hearth and home and revelry and just like general a lot of the good things that the Kislevites cherish. And he appears to be a zealot of some types. You know, this is very like Warhammer 40k with the papers and, you know, the prayers written on them. He's pretty badass looking as he faces down the demons and the Khorne warriors. And you can also see some of the light cav in the back, some of the much lighter cav, dudes with bows. Yeah, we got the polar bears with the cool like walrus tusks in the front, looking sick. And then these dudes, I don't know what to call these guys. I don't know the names of everything in the roster. Obviously, we've got the big elemental bear and the bloodthirster in the back doing things. We've got the is it juggernauts? I believe so. Charging forward to meet the bear calves. But these guys, their swords are sick looking, like these giant, like backwards blades. At least they look backwards. You know what I mean? I don't know. They look awesome. I'm excited. They're not dual wielding. They're two-handing these huge swords. So they're probably just a great weapon variant of the. God, what are they called? My brain is blanking. I'm so exhausted. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's what they are. But they look really cool. On to the next one. A lot of people were saying this is, and I agree, that what we're looking at right here is perhaps a screenshot of the new, like, Eastern map. Part of this has already been not part of this. No, really, none of this has been added to Total Warhammer 2's map. But the map has been expanded and kind of blacked off. I'm wondering if this is the section that it is. Because as the game grows, we're gonna be in the Darklands, where, there's goblins, there's Skaven, there's Chaos Dwarves, and mostly ogres, right? Dominate those crazy lands. And then on the other side of them is Cathay. So Kislev definitely needed to be expanded and made more interesting. Right now, it's probably the least interesting place in the entire game, aside from like open land in the middle of the Empire. But it looks beautiful. It looks super cool. It reminds me, once again, I'm going to make another Lord of the Rings reference. When they light the fires to signal Gondor. Yeah. Or Rohan. Wait. No, Gondor lights the fires to signal Rohan. That's what it is. Yeah. So, and they light all the fires on the mountaintops. That's what this place makes me think of. But it looks sick. Expect lots of snow battles, which can be hard if you don't have like a really good gaming PC. Sometimes the snow battles look the worst. I'm going to cross my fingers and wish all of you out there luck. Tuning your brightness and such to make it so that you can actually see what the hell is going on. This is just a pretty shot. I enjoy that they're including some of these shots. I think the environments that they build on the actual game map get overlooked often, or the game board, maybe you could call it. I think if you zoom in, you play a little bit more zoomed in. I've been playing for so many hours, thousands of hours, that like I just zoom out all the time, and you miss the details, and then I find myself getting bored and not interested and not pulled into the lore anymore. But it's partially my own fault because I don't zoom in and enjoy these really beautiful scenic things that they take the time to learn. Yeah, and then we see the same guys, but this time Khorne warriors instead of the blood. The demons actually riding on the back. It's actually the mortal Khorne warriors. They look sick. And we're getting into some of the older screenshots now. But, all right, so much for that. And then lastly, what I have here is the FAQ that was put out. On the 14th, today would be the 18th. But it does talk about a few things that I thought was interesting. And I don't know if it's really something that's been gone over a bunch. Let me see. Let me scroll down just a little bit. Because it's confirmation on stuff that I've been asking confirmation on for a while. And I don't know. Man, maybe this is something people have talked about already, but I'm going to talk about it for a second anyway, and then I'm going to get to the whole Little Grum controversy in a second. So obviously the early adopter bonus content, it's what I've been waiting to see. That way we know what the quote-unquote fourth race is going to be for this game. I'm super excited. Okay. Content, got it. Got it. This is none of this is the new is the stuff that I want to look at. Give me a sec, guys. Oh god, oh good, because that Bloodthirster sounded a bit weird. Yeah, non-final. So just a few things that people noticed from the newer gameplay that was put out. They're kind of in this letting people know that it's going to be okay. So, will there be a combined map for owners of all three games? Yes, though currently our focus is on Total Warhammer 3, we will release a massive combined map that will be a huge free DLC for owners of all three games, and we'll have more detail later. You know, when Norska came out and messed everything up, this is what this exactly was all around, and then the larger game map got delayed forever. So I'm hoping there won't be any problems. I hope they take their time and do it the right way. I will own all three parts. So I will have access to that. I can't wait to do massive campaigns. It sounds incredible. Yeah. However, before then, there will be a further DLC for Total Warhammer 2, which will be releasing later this year. I'm excited. I'm pretty stoked to find out what that might be. And then, of course, everyone saw the survival battle. But that is such a small part of the game. People were starting to get concerned. Some people didn't like the way it looked. I heard the term like MOBA thrown around. Mobile game is a pretty negative term that a lot of people used. I thought it looked fine. It definitely needs some polishing, but it looks fine. It's like 80% of the way there. And of course, they turned down the difficulty mode for the people who don't know life Total Warhammer like us. And you know, you got to let the press people be able to win a battle or two. Otherwise, maybe they'll rate your game badly. I don't know. So the new game modes, alongside survival battles, they'll also feature domination battles and minor settlement battles. So this is something that I've seen a few people briefly discuss, but minor settlement battles have been in Total War titles for a long time. And I'm hoping they add something and don't just give us, you know, perhaps yet more stale maps where the kind of the cheese factor is high and the fun factor is low. And then the domination battles, I believe, are going to be multiplayer focused battles that require you to take objectives in order to claim victory, which is nice to prevent cheese on the ladder. So, okay. And then this was something I read that I just wanted to say to you guys, a little bit of a hallelujah. Total Warhammer 3 will feature siege improvements. We'll be giving more details at a later date. Can't wait. Cannot wait. The garrisons? God, what are they called? The fort battles that were added primarily around like Balthazar Gelt's campaign. I think that's a good way to start. You know, just more depth to the cities, more layers, giving players the ability to set up their own siege equipment on walls, making it so that every battle isn't almost exactly the same. You can take different stacks become viable, different styles of play become viable, and yeah, okay. That's kind of all I was thinking about with that. Excellent. All right, so real quick, while I just kind of leave it on this screen for a sec, the Little Grom controversy. If you don't know what it is, in the gameplay that they showed there, let's see if they maybe have it in one of these. It would definitely be in here if I were to scroll through. But for those of you who don't know, perhaps the penultimate artillery piece for Kislev is Little Grom, or Lil Grom, is the rapper name he chooses to go by. It's a wagon, a war wagon pulled by polar bears. Sick, right? Maybe a slight overuse of the polar bear theme. It's not on wheels, it's on ice. Okay, maybe a slight overuse of the ice theme. And it just shoots, right? It's basically like a mortar cannon strapped to the back of a wagon floating on ice pulled by polar bears. That's about as fantasy as it gets. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. And my first my first reaction, okay, whenever I saw that, I thought it looked dumb. So I still kind of have that feeling. And I don't like to be negative. I'm not a super creative person. Like, if you asked me to come up with a really cool looking, siege engine like that, I'd have trouble. But I will say that one of the things I always enjoyed about the aesthetic of Kislev is the underdog quality that they possess. They're like these tough, hardened people who scrap together, what kind of lesser technologies they can. Some borrowed from the Empire, some from the dwarves, some of their own. And the tribes people around them, and they band together to hold back chaos by themselves, and they do it by the skin of their teeth every single time. And one of the things that I'm getting here is a little bit less of the underdog feel and a little bit more of like this overwhelming magical what's a good way to say it? So I was trying to think of a good way to say it. When everything is special, nothing is special. So Little Grom is almost undoubtedly supposed to be special, but it's very easy to see in a lot of the units that are already shown to us that ice elements feature heavily, as if almost half of the stuff in the roster has some sort of, claim to ice magic, which is supposedly very rare, according to lore and stuff that I've read over the years. Polar bears, the overuse of bears is kind of a little bit obvious to me. Once again, in the lore, the priests of Ursun and the few people who were actually able to tame a bear and like ride it as cav was supposedly very low, right? It was kind of like a lifelong pursuit to be one of those badasses. And now they just got bears everywhere. They got bears pulling wagons. They got, I don't know, bears pulling little kids out of fires. It's like they got bears all over the place. Even giant elemental bears. It feels a bit overdone, and to me it's obvious that it's a bit overdone. You may have a different opinion. I will respect that 100%. If you feel like Kislev needed a magical element or that kind of cool tie-in element of the bears and the ice magic in order to make it stand out amongst all of the other very flamboyant races that already exist in the game, I can't disagree with that. Just to me, my favorite elements of almost all the armies in the game are seeing how long I can make the lowest tier guys last, right? The Streltsy are going to be awesome. That's like straight up my playstyle. I want guys that shoot and scoot, fight and melee. Like those dudes are going to be sick. And I think their models look cool too, even though everybody in Kislev apparently is a linebacker. They just all look super jacked and tan. But just the idea of being the underdog is an idea that I think CA should hold on to. When you look at, okay, Total Warhammer 1, what's the most played faction? Empire. Why? Because people want to play as the humans scraping everything together in order to stop all the crazy other monsters and enemies that are out there, besetting humanity. Total Warhammer 2, what's the most played race? The High Elves. The Order, once again, an Order faction. Basic spearmen standing in perfect straight lines, holding the line against crazy chaos monsters. It's like that's what people want most of the time. I'm generalizing, but I think that's a lot of the time what people want, and the numbers prove it. And I think in Game 3, depending on how sick Cathay is, or whatever the last faction that has yet to be revealed is, I would predict, based on everything I already know, that it's going to be the same way. If Kislev proves to be the more fun and underdog feeling of the races, then I think Kislev is going to see the most play. And also, I think this also will hinge heavily on the introduction of the second legendary lord for Kislev. Don't know who it is yet. If they have a super high cool factor, if it's like Boris riding a bear coming back from the Chaos Waste and he's like, I'm here. And then you get to play as him. I'm like all for that, by the way. But the coolness factor of the Lord mixed with the underdog feeling, mixed with like the fighting by the skin of your teeth. People want to win choke battles on bridges. They want to hold the walls. They want these epic moments. And when everything is special, nothing is special. That's my general feeling. Take it as you will. But guys, thank you so much. My name is Brett. Channel's Good Talk Gaming. I hope y'all enjoy this little bit of a rant. Enjoy all the news that's going to be coming out. I'm going to endeavor to catch it as it comes and make videos on it myself. I'll be continuing to contact CA, hopefully to get early access back, so that way, when the real content starts dropping, I'll be in the loop and be able to put stuff out for you guys. I have been in the past. I have people like call me on it sometimes, like, why do your channel's so small? Why do you expect to have access? It's like, I've had it already. I remember doing an Emmerich campaign before he came out. It was super fun. But yeah, so cross your fingers. Say a little prayer for me or something. I don't know. Light some candles. But that's it. I'm Brett, Channel's Good Talk Gaming, all that. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care.